friends, welcome back. Today I wanted to show you all about my journal ecosystem. This is a new thing for me. I've always been a planner girl, but journal ecosystems are all the rage and I couldn't love it more. So let me show you inside my journal ecosystem and also how to make a leather journal cover like this that I made for my daughter. Okay, so I'm gonna start out by showing you my journal that I ordered off of Etsy. This is just a journal cover. This is the one that kind of started it all. I don't know if she's still taking orders because she blew up like as soon as I bought mine and I saw that she stopped taking orders, but I will tag her in the description if you want to just buy a journal cover. It was $35, which was a steal. I got it embossed here on the bottom. I think it's so beautiful. I'm going to show you how I have this laid out. I also have some other journals that go into the ecosystem, but that are not in this specific journal cover. If you want to skip ahead and see how to make your own leather cover, I did make one for my daughter. This is how hers turned out. And in my video, I did make it tri-fold, just like my journal. Her journals are too chunky. They're too chunky. So she ended up slicing off the fold and she likes it like this. It was super affordable and very easy to do. So I will put chapters below if you want to skip ahead to see how you can make your own journal cover. Part one of my ecosystem. This is my productivity planner / journal. Open it up and in here I have this little bifold organizer and I have some washi tape, a ruler, some stickers in here, and then also just these little doodad. Then I have this little zip pouch that has all of the highlighters that I'm using for this journal, a pencil, and I'll show you why I use a pencil, and then I also put in my pen. This is my favorite pen. It's the Pilot Juice Up. I just love it so much. It's so thin. This is my planner, and this is for just planning out my weeks and my days, and so I can get all of everything in my brain dumped down on paper. It is the Common Planner, and it has this very thin Tomoe River paper, which I just love. It's so satisfying. In her Common Planner, she always has like Q1, Q2, Q3. I have these paper clips together, which I didn't use last year, but this year I'm trying to use it a little bit more. And I used this quarterly page to do my habit tracker. Instead of doing habits for the whole year, I thought it'd be fun to do different habits each month. So for January, I want to focus on continuing my consistency in movement, which you guys know I've been doing Train Well, and it has just honestly been so life-changing for me because I am not a consistent girl. I want to continue on with that, but also be a little bit more consistent here with YouTube and a little bit on Instagram and TikTok, though they're not my focus, but I do want to be just slightly more consistent. Journaling, which I'll show you what that looks like later, and then my vitamins. I'm so bad about my vitamins. I sold supplements for 10 years and I was so consistent, and then they changed the formula and they added in an ingredient that I'm allergic to, and that just like ruined it for me because now I cannot be consistent and I need to be better about it, but I'm allergic and they're my favorite. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Right now what I'm doing is kind of taking them sporadically and seeing how it affects my body, and I'll keep you posted. The ingredient I'm allergic to is mango. That was a long-winded way to say that I'm tracking my vitamin intake. And then it does have a monthly spread, except I don't think I'm gonna use this like a typical monthly spread because I use my Google Calendar a lot, and then we also have a notepad on our refrigerator, and just having a third place to put stuff down just seems like overkill. So what I think I'm gonna do is cover up these with memory, maybe do like a memory a day, or even go through my camera roll at the end of the month and cut out pictures and stick them in here. So we'll see. That's what my plan is so far. But after the monthlies, we have the weeklies, and this is what I use this planner really the most for, is just kind of jotting down what I need to do every week, every day. I love the time blocks that she uses. Sometimes I use them as actual time blocks, but a lot of times I will just write down my to-do list in that section. And I like doing it this way because sometimes too, I am over ambitious in what I can do in a day. And if I put it here in this time blocks, I'm limited. So once I fill up these time blocks, I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, I really can't fit more in the day. That's what and they can be very simple things like laundry, drop off recycling, workout, take the kids to the park, like all these things. I think I can get so much done a day. But if I put it all in here under these time blocks, even if it doesn't take up that specific time block, just having this finite amount of space to put things down for some reason helps me realize that I don't actually have 50 hours in a day. That's my weekly. And then over here on the back, she has these blank pages. That's where I've been doing my journaling. Pictures and just everyday journaling. So that's what I've been using that for. She always has this little card in here as well that has the year. And I really like this. It's called a pen board. Put it behind your paper so that your pen marks not bleed through, but the actual indentations on the page don't bleed through to the other page. So that's the planner, that's my productivity. And the way that I use this is in conjunction with my Notion and my Google Calendar. So like I said before with the monthlies, I put all of our appointment, date nights, anything that has like a time, put that in my Google Calendar. Anything that's like a project that I need to write notes on or plan out a little bit more, like a YouTube video, will go into my Notion. And that way I'm not kind of cluttering up my planner with notes and stuff. I'd rather have notes, things that I need to refer back to in Notion, because then I can search for it and it's just easy. But for this one, it's really like daily jotting down what I need to do, my to-do list, and then the journaling in the back. After my planner in this little journal, let's see how many times I say journal in this video, is my content planner. And this is just a notebook from Common Planner, and it is just like the planner, but a little bit less. It does have everything like the priorities, the Q1 goals and all that. I may even do some type of like habit tracker here, kind of maybe move things over from my productivity planner into the content one so that I can keep the two things separate. I don't know, I haven't done that part yet, but this is what I use for tracking the things that I post and idea planning. I talked about my pencil earlier. This is what I use my pencil for because I think it goes along with me being an Enneagram 7. I have so many ideas, but they don't always come to fruition because then the day of, if I have something planned, but like inspiration strikes and I want to post something else or work on something else, then I will do that. I am not going to pigeonhole myself into what I said I was going to do. I don't know if that's a character flaw. It is what it is. That's who I am. So I pencil my ideas in. And then I actually write in ink after I post. That's what I use this spread for, is just to have like a snapshot view of what I want to post this month. But then a lot of time, I mean, more times than not, I end up changing and it's something completely different. So that's what I use this part for. And then in the back are some blank pages. And honestly, I don't really know what I'm going to use this for because I do a lot of my content planning and sketching out and brain dumping in Notion. So I don't really know what I'm going to use this part for, which is perfect because I needed something skinny like this. I didn't need a whole full-on planner for content. I just needed like a little notebook to kind of plan things out on a monthly basis. And then also for me to go back and look, because a lot of times I'm like, oh, I didn't really do a lot. And then I'll go back and look at these monthly spreads and I'm like, okay, girl, like you actually did a lot. That's my productivity planner. And then I have 3 more notebooks that I need to make a journal cover for. And like I said, I bought this one off of Etsy, but then once I got it, I was like, I can make this. So I ended up buying the leather and all of the grommets and the elastic, and that's all you need to make one of these. In the meantime, let me show you what notebooks are gonna go inside of this new leather journal that I'm gonna make whenever it arrives. Imagine with me that these are gonna be inside of a nice, pretty leather journal. So the first one is gonna be my book journal, which I track all of my books in Notion, and I'm still gonna continue to do that this year. But I love the idea of having little pictures of the book covers and then the rating. Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Also, okay, side note, this was the first book that I finished in 2026. Please read this book. I love it so much. It's not my normal genre. My normal genre is fluffy, smutty romance. That's the way I can describe it. And this is so not. It has love story in here, but it's a very closed door, kind of like historical fiction mixed with magical realism, mixed with romance. I loved this so much. And I know that there's a second book by the author. I'm definitely gonna read that because I loved this one. So what I think I'm going to do with this whole book journal is wait until I have 4 books read, and then I'm going to use my Canon IV photo printer that I use with journaling. And it's great because it has a collage feature, and so once you cut it, if you do like 4 pictures on one of the little photos, if you cut it down, then it will fit nicely in here. Either that, or I'm going to put them into Canva and then just print them out on sticker paper. I might do that one because then the paper will be thinner, it won't be as bulky, and it's more matte, which I like. Sometimes the Canon IV comes out a little bit dark. I think I might do the sticker paper actually now that I'm talking to you about it. Anyway, so that is the book journal. And these are just really cheap, like traveler's notebooks that I got off of Amazon. And then I just put washi tape, and then I did use this little stamp. It didn't turn out great. And actually I even missed the section, but whatever. It is what it is. That's one. And the second one in that leather ecosystem journal cover is my travel journal. And this is new to me, but what I did last year, I put all of my travel junk stuff and memory keeping inside of my planner, and I don't think I liked that. I think what I want to do is have a dedicated travel journal, and so then I can put like Disney and then the Tokyo trip and then Oahu. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I saved a couple pages here at the front so that I could go back and create my Tokyo and Kyoto pages, the Tokyo Disney page, which I kind of took this away from my other journal. And then we went to Oahu, so then that will be another page. And then every trip will just be inside of this journal. That's my plan. We'll see if it works. So far, I'm really loving that. And then this one is just going to be like a junk journal / memory journal scrapbook. I really wanted something to kind of be apart from my planner, apart from travel, but just standout moments during the year, and this will probably be more than 1 year, where I can just journal about things. And then also even not just memories, but like themes, you know, if I wanted to do, this is my aesthetic this year, or these are my favorite hobbies this year, I just do a whole spread on like my favorite hobbies, or even journal like a project that I've done. So that's what this one's gonna be. It's just gonna be like a creative journal. I think that's what I'm gonna call this, is my creative journal. So that is my second little stack of journals. And then I have a third too. So my third is really just an analog notebook because I need to jot down notes all the time. And a lot of times what will happen is I'll pull up my notes app on my phone, or I'll pull up my Notion, and then I'll get distracted by something online. I'll get a notification, then we're off. And we're not coming back. So I created this little pocket-sized journal, just a notebook in here, and I have a little pen. And I'm really bummed because I really wanted to show you something that I bought for this one, which is just like, I bought one of these for my notebook. And what I wanted to do was have like a place where I could put in receipts or anything that kind of came up during the day when I don't have this on me, but it didn't come. So unfortunately that will come later, but imagine that that's right here. That's my goal. Then I can like put my pen in there. I don't know if that's gonna fit. But basically this is just an ugly brain dump. I did a little Washi swatch test, by the way. So cute, but just an ugly brain dump so that I can get things off my brain, but also not be on my phone. And this is small enough that I can just put it in my bag. Also, this is really helpful too because I have a kid. And so a lot of times too, when we're in a waiting room or we're somewhere and I don't want her to be on a device, I can just pull this out and she can doodle in it. And it's not anything super precious. Also, she got me this for Christmas, which is so cute. Anyways, not anything super precious. It doesn't have to be aesthetic. It's not meant to be pretty. It's literally just a brain dump. That is my whole setup. That's my setup. I love it so much. Granted, I'm a little bummed that this is not nice and pretty for you, but imagine that there would be like this and then this. Look. So pretty. I think I wanted to show you a couple of journaling supplies that I love to use. Okay, real quick. I did do this little project over on Instagram where I transferred a lot of my washi tape rolls to these little boards. I love them. They are so convenient. They take up so much less space, and then I can put them in my little sticker bag, which let me show you some of my stickers. So cute. A lot of these stickers I get from like Daiso. These I printed out because I thought I wanted them in my shop and then I changed my mind, but So many cute little stickers. This is a company that I love. Peppercut, she's also a YouTuber. I keep sticky notes always on hand because then sometimes I like to journal on these and then put them into my journal, and same thing with these kinds of notes. How cute is this? So I got this from a little shop in Oahu. Same thing, I like to just like journal little notes on there, put them in my journal. So stinking cute. I got this little stamp that has all like different weather icons. So when I'm journaling, I can kind of stamp what the weather was that day. Sorry for that abrupt subject change, but I did want to show you how you can make a DIY leather cover. I got this 12 by 24 sheet of leather off of Amazon, and I used my current journal cover as a template, but you can also find templates on Pinterest really easily and free. And you're just going to cut that out and punch in the holes, or actually punch out the holes for however many strings you want to put in. I put 3 strings in this journal just to match the one that I had. Admittedly, the grommets that I used are a little bit big, so I would recommend getting a 3mm size. These are just a little bit too big. I also recommend punching from the smooth side of the leather down to the rough side. I tried the other way, and punching on the smooth side was just a lot more effective. It's very simple. You just put in these little grommets, use the tool as instructed. It's going to be a little bit tedious, but also kind of relaxing. So you're going to do 6 holes on each end of the journal and then 2 holes on the back. And then you're just going to thread in your elastic just like so. And once you tighten them, you want the journal cover to kind of bend in a little bit, not too much, but you want it to bow in a little bit like this. And then that'll help keep your notebooks a lot more secure when you put your notebooks in. So you're just going to keep doing that. You're going to do however many strings you want. You can do 2, you can do 3. I did 3. My kit only had a finite amount of elastic string, so I did have to mix 2 colors. And then my daughter's journals are quite chunky, so my template was actually a little bit too small, but later on she just sliced off that trifold part and made it a bifold leather cover. So it ended up working out fine, but you know, if you have some big old journals, then maybe you want to make your template just a little bit larger. But yeah, it's a very simple project and comes together really fast, and if you decide to do it, I hope you love it. Okay, my friends, I think that was all I wanted to show you. I did want to kind of talk about my 2026 goals, especially since last year I did a whole video on my 2025 goals. But to be completely honest, my 2026 goals are very small and simple. I want to continue being consistent with my workouts. Hats off to Train Well. That's literally the only thing that's kept me consistent, is having the streaks. So with Train Well, which this is not sponsored in whatsoever, I pay every single month for this, but they have a streak. And so if you do your intended workout, your planned workout, you get to keep your streak going. And if you miss a day and you don't plan ahead, so it gives you an option of like kind of moving your workouts around or subbing with a different workout, which you can do. And you have the flexibility of doing that, which I love. But if you just straight up miss a workout, like you didn't plan ahead, you didn't move things around, you didn't sub it with something else, you just missed it, your streak ends. And I don't know what it is about having a streak, but it keeps me on track. Like last year I got up to, I think my streak was like 306 days of consistently, even if I didn't do the actual workout, I did something else, like a Pilates workout, a low back relief, or like a stretching. I did something. I moved my body in some way for 306 days. And obviously I have rest days in there too, so that's part of your plan. So I consistently did 3 workouts a week. Towards the tail end of that, I did 4 workouts a week, but I consistently stuck to that plan for 306 days. And then I missed a day and my streak ended, and I was just like, So close. I was so close. And then through the holidays, I wasn't as consistent, but way more consistent than I ever have been. Freaking love that app. I pay every 3 months and it works out to be $100 a month. But you have a virtual trainer. It's not AI, it's an actual person, and you can do Zoom calls with them. They'll tailor make your program for you. And I just love it. Again, not sponsored. They don't know who I am, but I have been loving that. So I want to keep consistent with that. The counterpart to that, which I was not very good at this past year, is prioritizing my nutrition. I basically just ate like a college student last year, which is not okay. It's at my age, can't do that. Can't do that anymore. So this year I really need to focus on eating like a dignified 42-year-old woman. That's my goal. That's my goal. And then other than that, we have a big move coming up. So really, I don't really have any like crazy outlandish goals. I just want to continue staying present with my family, continue learning something. I do want to do that. I do want to create like personal curriculum where I'm learning something. Don't know what that specific thing is going to be yet. And then I also work is way on the back burner for me this spring. So I had one big client and we wrapped up everything at the end of last year. So I really have nothing going on. I have very, very small projects for another business that I'm working with, but work front will be very low key. And then content is ramping up a little bit more, but it's still very much a hobby. I refuse to make content my entire life, and other parts of my life suffer just because I want to make videos. So this is very much still a hobby. Other than that, I think that's really it. I just want to stay sane, enjoy my life, do my silly little frivolous projects, and also, you know, maybe nurture my brain a little bit more, because I do kind of feel like I've lost that part of intentionally trying to learn something. But yeah, okay. Well, that was it for my 2026 goals. I hope you had a great new year, and let me know if you make a leather journal. If you do planners, let me know. I want to know how you guys are planning your year or staying organized. Like, let me know all the things. Okay. I hope you have a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be if I leave tonight?